So this is for Vidushi. May your stories pierce through the barriers of ignorance, and may your emotions resonate at hearts, igniting sparks of empathy and courage. Let's welcome Vidushi Chadha with enthusiasm. Come on. She's a dynamic artist who effortlessly bridges creative realms. A CalArts alum, she effortlessly bridges the vibrant realms of Los Angeles and Mumbai. And she's not just an artist, but also a writer and producer for Neckline, the film. Fun fact, Vidushi too was one of the curators for Bake Off Bate Edition 1.0. Vidushi.
Thank you everyone for being here. Michelle told me something outside and she said, you know, Smita was saying that we did 2 editions of Bake Off and we had audience sitting up till here and really enjoyed, you know, like literally trying to step over people. But she said that everyone here today is marking their solidarity to end gender-based violence. And so I want to really thank you all for being here and being a part of this very important movement. So please give a round of applause for yourself. I was not going to start with this, but you know, Rajesh inspired me, and I was actually training. I was acting faculty at Drama School Mumbai this past month, and you know, working with young men and women. I realized that, especially when talking about the voice of the women, I tried to help the men explore their feminine side, explore archetypes of femme fatale, go into movements of flow, and women, you know, work with staccato, power, authority. And I think that was very beautiful to see how men had never explored their feminine side, and they were really excited about it. And I think getting more sensitivity, and that was sort of very powerful. And you know, the first time I saw a penis was when I was 11 years old. I was walking in the park on a summer vacation, and I was a cute little chubby kid. My mom had told me to go walk and, you know, then come back home to chicken sandwiches. So I was like just walking, and I remember I took 10 rounds, and so specific, you know, you remember these things. And on the 11th round, I said, I'm going to do 10. And then I felt motivated, and it was just me in the park and one man sitting quietly in the corner on a bench. I would keep passing him 10 times. Nothing happened. And I was about to leave, but something in me said, I can do one more round today. Something felt off, but I did it. And as I walked past him on that 11th round, I saw he'd taken off his pants. I was 11 years old. And I don't think I've met any woman in my life who has not faced gender-based violence, whether physical or psychological. I am yet to meet a woman in my 28 years of existence. So that just shows how important it is for us to be here, how important it is what S-Box by Sakshi, what Sakshi does, what Smita does, what Bake Off Bate is doing. So, thank you. Okay, that was just my little side note. I'm here, my pieces are really fun, and, you know, I've been sort of realized that I've been talking about a lot of microaggression in my pieces. And microaggression is basically like small, you know, harmless, seemingly harmless acts जो हम normalize कर देते हैं अपनी ज़िंदगी में, you know, like WhatsApp jokes, staring, you know, whistling. These microaggressions are normalized in our world, and those microaggressions really lead to violence. It is a form of violence against women. And Smita recently told me that, you know, Justice Verma said in the Verma Commission report that if we nip ogling, like staring, in the bud, there will be no sexual assault. And so just talking about microaggressions, I'm angry. I'm cranky. I'm angry, cranky, and pissed off. No, I'm not PMSing. Premenstrual syndrome, an excuse used by you to undermine my emotion because of your notion that all this commotion that I'm creating is because of a hormonal potion bubbling in my body, ready for a bloody whoosh. I mean, if I disagree with you or have a different point of view, or I'm angry with you because you're being you and you're fucking late for the movie and you had the tickets, doesn't mean that I'm having my time of the month. My time of the month. Free access to a spa, some nice neck massages like my time of the month. Warm bed, fluffy socks, funny movie all day is like my time of the month. Thick, gooey chocolate shake is like my time of the month. Winning employee of the month is like my time of the month. Not leaking like a tap and everything feels like crap. Plus you get a rash by the end of my time of the month. I want a refund by the end of my time of the month. The point I'm trying to make is if that I ever shake with anger and fear, if I ever shake with anger and tears, you think my anger is unimportant, irrelevant, and not because of a logical sequence of events, but because of my ovaries. There could be days when I'm in pain, right now, I just got my period today. There could be days where I'm in pain, my bloated stomach, I can't contain, my hormones drive me insane, but don't you dare blame those 4 days in 30 to put to shame my valid, legit frustration. My time of the month. Thank you. The next one is I'm going to talk about standards of beauty. And I feel like we all as humans are, expected to be unrealistically beautiful. And I think I got it. Yeah, thanks. Especially women. Women have always been subject to, always trying, been fed that you're not beautiful. It takes a lot in us, from the very beginning when we are compared to other people, when we're supposed to be beautiful and this so that we can, our value is on how we look outside. And one of the things in standards of beauty is sort of colorism in India, being dark. I mean, you're always too fat or too thin or too short or too tall or too dark. And I'm going to talk about my not-so-brown skin. In like 30 seconds. All right. Can you hear me? Spotless beauty, they say. White, radiant, spotless beauty. Sounds like a perfectly frozen cup of dahi. Not the largest organ of my body. My skin is not spotless. I'm proud of my spots. It reminds me I have pores. People say I have it easy. Easy for a brown girl. Because technically I'm not brown, but technically I am brown. I mean, I was in LA for 5 years and I was a brown girl. Technically I am brown. I'm not white either. I'm just a fair brown girl. Morons. Oxymorons. I love them. They defy norms. You don't know which rung of the race ladder I hang on to. A little above brown, a little below white. Ideal for fairness cream ads, aspiration of all Indian brides. And even grooms. Open up your colonized minds. Can't you see how white supremacy has stuck its roots in your matrimonial ads, in your job applications, in how you measure power, beauty, success? White skin. White skin will make it all work out. In a world where industries thrive on insecurity, self-confidence is boosted by a liquid foundation, melanin trumps over talent. Congratulations, you've taught generations that a skin cream supersedes hard work. So despite my not so brown skin, I consider myself in solidarity with the people of colored trends. I understand that white feminism is not as inclusive as it pretends, that refusing to endorse a skin lightening cream doesn't mend our colonized mindsets. But it's a step. My not so brown skin. Thank you so much. Thank you.